carry a gray card with me vlogging. Take that, white balance. So today we talk about why I'm selling the Fuji X-H2s after 2 weeks of thorough testing. It's not like I'm not gonna miss it. It is glorious, I'll tell you. I made a list of all the deal breakers and what I will miss at the end of the video. Stay tuned.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So first things first, did that work? I custom white balanced with this gray card. And if it didn't work, wait, do I face the sun? I will change it in DaVinci and whatever corrections. Now what do I do with this? They're supposed to fold in your pocket. So we're on the Fuji X-T4 as a rebellious move, vlogging in a superior system. So let's go over the flaws, the deal breakers to me. I love the camera. I miss it. It's a stupid decision to sell it. I will regret it immediately. As soon as the Kaizens come flowing in, I'll be like, oh man, that hurts. I'll buy it back. 240 frames per second being worse than the Fuji XS10. That hurts. That's a dig right at me. I was hoping for 480 frames per second. At least improve the 240. They somehow made it much worse. The noise floor on it, I can't believe it. I've tried all the codecs from ProRes to 10-bit 422, 420, 8-bit. You're seeing it right now. There's no way to make that clean. It is so nasty looking, and that's what I love most about Fuji, that they were doing that before almost anyone. We're in Astia, by the way. I've never tried just using a normal profile outside. Usually you think, oh, F-Log for the dynamic range. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Fuji X-H2 has killed my zest for life. Stabilization being worse than the X-T4. Every review said it was so much better, but in my opinion, every review had a handheld panning shot and that's all they ever did with it. This is all they ever do. For vlogging and wildlife, the most important genres of our time. I'm not backlit. The Stabe's worse. Like, I noticed it, X-T4. This is better. The digital in the X-H2s does bad things. Now, I've been walking pretty slow and carefully just to prove that point, that the X-T4 is better. But it just is. It's still bad. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying this is good or what you should be shooting for. It's terrible. But it's actually better than the XH2s. I don't know. The jerky movements of the arm walks are not handled at all. And the wildlife, when you pan to chase a bird, it jerks and catches up worse, I found, than the X-T4. So I'm like, okay, the two most important things for me have gotten worse. The slow-mo and the Stabe. Now, I could be okay with that if it wasn't so expensive. More than that bike and the woman he bought to ride with him. That was a pricey one. You can get many full-frame cameras. You could get 2 or 3 really terrible ones. Canon RPs. You could get 3 of them. For what it is, APS-C, that's a bit high. That's a bit much, Fuji. You can come back to reality and bless us with your X-Trans sensor. Here's one that you might not have expected. The autofocus. It was leagues better. Like, much better. I'm gonna miss that. I'm not in autofocus now. There's no way I would do it. I could kind of do it, but it's still not, like, reliable. For vlogs, you saw the vlog I did the other day. Every time I turned my head, it would lose me still. It just recovers much quicker. It's always peeking in that background. I don't know, man. And then the animal eye detect, that was completely unusable unless you slow it right down and you're in 4K 60p. It kind of worked. It did. It had its moments. But it's like, that's what I feel like. I feel like it was false advertising. They give me all these specs, but you can't use them together. Like, first, that animal eye detect, when it first came out, they were showing it with that dog and the green laser eyes, and it was tracking them so perfect. Versus, like, reality of what actually happens when you use that mode. It's night and day. It's not even close to the same. It's like a McDonald's advertisement. And then you go in and you get like, oh, wow, did someone sit on this first? Why are you eating at McDonald's? They're trying to program your mind? It's human meat, you know that, right? Human or rats, which is worse? Post it down below. Autofocus. On-off button annoyed me. It was so hard to press, I often wondered if I had already pressed it or if it was locked. I was like, no, can't press it. It is on. Oh, wait, wait, really? It needed that much effort? I don't know, man. It's annoying. I was annoyed by it. Getting back to the false advertisement as a lens flare blesses our hearts. A Zeiss flare. Some might... Oh, it disappeared. Nothing seems to work together. They advertise Flog 2, new profile, and it was good. It had as much dynamic range as the A7S III in my stupid test like this. Oh, well. It was like, good. But that destroys 4K 120p. It looks much better in Flog 1. So it's like, okay, I have this new profile and this new amazing 4K 120p, but they don't marry each other. So it's like, oh, you have to pick and choose. Ow, it's little things like that, like the ProRes, amazing file, so easy to edit, but then you can't use it in 4K 120p. And it's like you're limited. All these amazing features at launch that they list in a row. It's like, oh, 4K 120p, Flog 2, ProRes, wow, 6.2K. You can't use them all together. It's a pick and choose which one doesn't belong kind of game. I thought you knew that. We didn't know it, Fuji. Whoa, those jitters. There's crickets. If I get close to them, is the audio... Oh no! What am I gonna miss? Because I have an X-T4, I do have an A7S III, but as an X-T4 owner, I think I'm gonna miss the stupid button that I have to move that was just a double tap on the Fuji to switch from manual focus to continuous autofocus. That was nice. What I'm not gonna miss is not knowing which button double taps to punch in. It was the joystick actually, but so often I press the joystick to punch in manual focus check. Am I in your house or are you in my studio? That's the real question. Yeah, I moved the focus thing over and then I'm checking like that area. That rude guy who just entered my studio unannounced. I will definitely miss the unlimited recording. Right now it's going. No idea when it's gonna stop. Sometimes it just stops and I have no idea that it stopped. That's a pain, so I will miss you. You know what I'm really gonna miss the most is slightly better dynamic range, more cinematic look, better skin tone, slightly. Just, it's so imperceivable. Like I did a video on my Vegetable Police channel the other day, and at the end, I filmed them on both cameras and compared them, and it's like, can you even see it? Can you see a difference at all? You might be able to. I don't know, like, some people will prefer the skin tones of the X-T4. It was so identical that, like, I guarantee you I could just switch to the XH2s right now. You wouldn't notice it. No, I didn't bring it. That would have been heavy. It's heavier than the X-T4, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's annoying. But in general, cinema cams go for this pleasing softness, high dynamic range look, and that's what the XH2 is. That's what the X-T4 is, not in this profile necessarily. But that's basically an Arri Alexa in an affordable package. It's so close though, like you barely, it's just slightly more cinema-like. And I appreciate it and I will miss it. Nostalgic Neg. I'm gonna miss that one. It was weird. It wasn't like good, but it was different. I don't know, Fujifilm Sims are a bit of a gimmick, but they're a fun gimmick and good. There's $10. Wow, look at that. Someone lost $10. I'm not gonna pick it up. My earlier days, am I focused on it? Ah, shit. In fact, it'll blow away. I'm gonna leave it on their handle. You seeing this? That's what a good Samaritan does. That's not gonna stick. There we go. Huh? Don't be about greed. Oh my god, I can steal their money. Give. Give whenever you can. See, I didn't even give. I just didn't steal. Not stealing is the new giving of 2022. So the reality is I didn't want the X-T4 and the XH2s. I bought the XH2s to sell this. It was supposed to be better in every way, and then we get rid of this, and then the cost of that would be lessened, and then we're getting an XH2s for like 1800 or something. That's what was supposed to happen. I didn't realize that it was unusable in all the categories I personally need. Like it worse in wildlife, worse stabe, that's about it. But it matters. So I'm not ruling out getting it back again. I don't know, the deal I got it for wasn't like, oh my god, I'll never get that again. I feel like I could get it again, and Fuji will lower the price one day, so I'm just gonna play the waiting game for a little bit and see. Are they gonna Kaizen this thing? Are they gonna fix some of these issues? Right now, I don't wanna pay to be a beta tester. I just wanna, okay, let's check on you in 3 months, see where you're at. Did you fix some of the things I negged at you about in a nostalgic, neg-like fashion? And if not, I don't know, man. I could see myself selling this X-T4 as well, and the Zeiss. But the reality is, if I want to make a video at home in my living room, it's going to look almost identical to this. And if I want to go out and get some wildlife footage, not only do I have a superior A7S III, the X-T4 will have the better slow-mo. And sharper 4K 60p anyway. It was sharper. Although, when I looked at the test side by side, it might have been like a in-camera sharpness of the X-T4. They were at the same sharpness setting, but something about the XH2s's cinema softness, it might have had more detail. I don't know what I'm looking at often. I just see X-T4 looks sharper, oh my god, and I pressed an alarm button and we all ran. But something like that. I think it might have had some good detail in 4K 60p, more pleasing dynamic range, something like that. It was good, but not good enough for me. It's a purple car, and the license plate says clams. Can you believe in that? That's a nice blue. Well, look at that. Not that Sony would show you that. See, that's why you get Fuji. They have actually colors that are inspiring. And I already have it on the X-T4 in Astia with no dynamic range. That's fine. You don't need it. Even though that's the best thing in the XH2s. So, we're done. What do you think? Did I make the right decision? Because this means selling that, okay, I get something else to test for the channel. I like this business model where I buy something for a decent deal, sell it for roughly the same amount, maybe a tiny loss, and I made a bunch of videos, like 15 or 20. So it's like, okay, I've made money with the camera. It's a good little practice. It's not going to make you a millionaire, but I get to learn and find out what's the best. I share it with you. It may pertain to your life or not. I like it, and it's fun. So I'm thinking Canon C100 Mark II. I might pounce. I'm pouncing. I'm thinking Panasonic GH6. Well, there's some Leica lenses in that bunch. Bunch wasn't the word. I didn't get hit by a car, though, for saying the wrong word. I'm going to go after you buy a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt and something through my affiliate links so I can buy more camera gear to sell later because it sucked. Goodbye.